Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Please ensure to like, share, and subscribe. And also click the bell notification in the top right-hand corner to be made aware anytime I upload tutorials or videos to YouTube. All right, let's craft together. Hey guys, today I am going to be sublimating these two tumblers. I'm going to do them both at the same time. I'm going to be putting a 90s theme on each one of the tumblers. One is going to be of all of our favorite cartoons from back in the day. I will link where I purchased this design from Etsy. And the other is all of the different movies and things like that from back in the 90s. So we have both that I will be linking in the description. I printed both of these out in Microsoft PowerPoint, and then my designs are both 8.3 by 9.6, okay? 8.3 height, 9.6 in width, and they're both the same size. These 20-ounce tumblers, skinny tumblers, I got from Michael's. I don't recommend purchasing your tumblers from Michael's, and the reason is because they're not going to give you the box or anything to put them in, so they're just going to come just like you see them on the shelf. So if you're in a pinch, then go ahead and purchase, okay? But if not, you know, order them online, or if you have a local vinyl shop. This one, when I took the little sticker off, the little goop stuff came on the bottom. So I'm gonna have to use something to get that off. So hopefully when I bake it, it'll bake on off, because it is, you know, rubber or plastic. But anywho, the reason I wanted to show this to you is because one of my subscribers had recommended that I use some type of tape, not tape, string or thread in between the paper, and the shrink wrap, so that when I get ready to take it off, that I can just pull the thread and it should come off easily. So I have some of my cotton thread, which is supposed to be hold up to heat. So we're gonna test that theory out and see if it works, okay? And I'm gonna be using, for this particular project, guys, I'm gonna be using my heat gun to get my shrink wrap started. And I'm also going to be using heat tape to adhere the image to my tumbler, okay? So these are sublimation tumblers. They have been coated to receive sublimation ink. These are not tumblers that you can just walk in Walmart or Target or something like that. So I want to make that clear that these are sublimation tumblers. I'm going to grab some alcohol, because I did not wipe these down with alcohol. I do highly recommend that you wipe your tumblers down with alcohol before you sublimate on them, and hopefully it'll help get some of this gook, you know, off of here. So give me a moment. Let me get my sublimation gun. Not my sublimation gun. Let me get my alcohol. Sublimation. Alrighty guys, I have my alcohol here now. and some cotton balls to clean our tumbler. Let me get the one with this gooky stuff on the bottom first, because it's making me upset. So I'm just rubbing the alcohol on here with the cotton ball, and it's kind of getting that gook off there a little bit. Still not fresh. All right, these tumblers are by this new brand out here, guys, called Make It. I'm seeing a lot of stuff in Michael's now with the Make It brand. So just gonna go around the tumbler. Try not to put your handprints or fingerprints back on it, but I'm just gonna go around the sides, and then you want to make sure you let this dry before you put your image down on it. And some things I say, guys, it may be like, well, why is she telling us that? We know that. Well, not everybody knows, guys. Not everybody knows. All right. All right. Just put my. All right. Put my finger down in there. It's so easy to forget not to use your hands as you're doing it, because we're used to just touching our tumblers, you know. So we're just gonna go around there. I want to make sure that our image adheres without any little blemishes or anything. So this one was perfect, guys, when I took off the little Make It sticker. The other one, it didn't, not so much. All right, so I'm gonna take that one off my hand, and I just don't like the way that looks. I don't, but these are mine, so stranger things have happened, right? All right, so I have my heat gun. Things you're gonna need, of course, your image, of course, your tumbler. You're gonna also need some heat tape and shrink wrap. I highly recommend shrink wrap. And I'm gonna be using my thread for this. So we're gonna put this in between the image paper and the shrink wrap, so that when we take it off, we can try to pull this in one whop to get that shrink wrap off, because it could be annoying sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to take the first tumbler here, and we're gonna go ahead and make sure, guys, always look at your image before you put it on, and make sure you have your image going in the right direction. You don't want to end up with your image upside down. So don't just assume that you have it in the right direction. Always take a look and make sure that the image is going in the right direction. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to place this around our image. Now that it is dry, we're just going to place it around our image, the paper. You want to make sure, guys, it's better to do this on a flat surface, because you want to make sure that the paper is tight around your tumbler. You want to make sure it's tight around the tumbler. You do not want it to be like loosey-goosey, if that's such a thing. Okay, so you want to make sure that the paper is good and tight and snug, holding on to that tumbler for dear life. Okay, that's the way you want to think about it, because you do not want air to get in there. If air gets in there, you're going to end up with ghosting. And for those of you that don't know what ghosting is, even though I'm holding this upward, guys, like this, I've already got that tight grip on my paper, and I'm not letting it go. Okay, so I got that tight grip, and now I'm just going to go down the opening with my heat tape to close it off. And the last time I did this, I forgot to tell you guys, it's always a good idea when you close this off to take your finger and kind of go down that seam to make sure that there no air can, you know, get in there. I'm going to show you guys what ghosting will look like on your tumblers, because I have a tumbler from back in the day that I have ghosting on. So I'm going to show you what ghosting is for those of you that are new to sublimation, or those of you that are considering sublimation, because I know a lot of people use that term ghosting and maybe you've never seen it, but you can't fix it. Once it's ghosted, it's pretty much a wrap. So I'm putting the sublimation paper on the top, not the sublimation paper, the heat tape. I'm putting that around the top and the bottom of my tumbler, as you can see here. Top and bottom. You want to make sure it's on there good. Use your fingers to press it out. You do not want, like I said, guys, you do not want any ghosting. All right, so we're going to now hit the bottom with tape, heat tape. I'm going to go around that bottom. Just like that. All right, so we got our heat tape on the bottom, and then we're just going to push that in. Okay. Now, once you get the heat tape on there, guys, use your fingers, press it on there really, really good. And what I was talking about with my nail is I just take my nail and go down the seam, where that seam is, to make sure that that tape is closing off any possibility of air escaping. Okay, just take your nail and go down. And then I like to take this and put it on a table or a flat surface and just take the tumbler and go around a couple of times just to make sure. So when you put it on a flat surface, you're just going to take it and make sure that you just kind of get that tape nice and tight on that bottom, that there's no possibility of air seeping in. Okay, so we got one ready. Okay, so I'm going to do the other one. Same thing. Always look at your design and make sure that it is going in the right direction before you put it on your tumbler. Otherwise, your image is going to be upside down and people are going to be like, what happened to your tumbler? So get that paper nice and tight on there. So this one, gotta make sure I get it on there. So I had to kind of put this one down for a minute. But once I get it tight on there, guys, I'm not letting up on this paper. So even though you see me holding it up like this, I'm not letting up on this paper as far as snugness around my tumbler. Okay, so I'm gonna grab some heat tape here and keep that paper tight. I can't stress that enough. Keep that paper tight, guys. Do not have it loose. Do not have it loose on there, because it will show up in your final project. And if you're making it for somebody, you will have wasted $7+ if not more. Okay, all right, I'm gonna now put the tape around the bottom and the top, just like you saw me do with the other one. And once you get the habit of doing these, once you get it, guys, the process is the same every time. You may get quicker, you know, with taping it down. I remember the first time I was doing this, oh my God, I had tape all over this tumbler because I watched someone and that's what I saw them do. They taped the whole tumbler up. They put copy paper around the image paper, and oh my God, it was an act of Congress going on with that first tumbler that I did. But you learn as you go, you know, you learn as you go. So, you know, if you see a tumbler that I did way back in the day, just mind your business. Don't even harp on it. Just mind your business. Because I'm telling you, I did everything to that tumbler. And it still had ghosting on it. That's the funny part. All right, so I'm just taking it, and just so you guys can see better here, I'm just taking it and I'm putting it down on this flat surface here. And I'm just taking it and just twirling it around like that. Just to make sure, and you want to do the top and the bottom. You just to make sure, you can't see under my skirt here, but just to make sure, guys, that you got that heat tape on that bottom and that top really, really good, okay? You do not want the possibility of any air escaping. So I'm just using my nail to kind of go around to make sure that I'm not going to end up with any ghosting. Even if the paper, you know, looks a little wonky, just make sure that tape has a hold on it, nice and firm, no air getting underneath that tape down here, okay? You don't want that. All right, now this is the part, guys, where I'm going to use the string here. So I'm going to leave it long enough to where I can pull it once it's done. So I'm going to go about that long, and hopefully that's going to be good enough. Okay. So I'm just going to put that just like that, and I'm going to grab my shrink wrap. I'll get it on there right in just a minute. You're going to take and put your tumbler inside of that shrink wrap. And let me get my string. Oh shoot. All right, y'all, forgive me now. This is the first time I'm trying this. So don't laugh at me. All right. So I got my string now hanging out of both ends, because you want to be able to grab that shrink wrap. I mean, you want to be able to grab that string when you're done. I don't know where I got all these little, it looks like some little beads on my shrink wrap. Pick them up somewhere. All right, so that looks pretty good. You want to have leave a little bit of the shrink wrap so that it can close like that on both the bottom and the top. All right, and now I'm just gonna, and this when I use my heat gun, guys, it doesn't have to be super tight around here, because when I put it in my convection oven, it is going to continue to adhere. It's going to continue to adhere the shrink wrap for us, okay, tightly. All right. All right, here we go. All right, so that's our first one. Okay, that's our first one, and we have the string hanging out of both ends. We're gonna go ahead and do our second one. And guys, I apologize if I'm limited on my little space right here, so I don't want to I don't want it where you can't see. So I'm trying to be mindful of that with this heat gun. Alright, we're going to drop that in. We're going to take our string. And we're going to put that in between the image and the shrink wrap. That thing is noisy. Someone was asking me in the comments, guys. They were asking me, like, how can you set the temperature on this gun? You can't set the temperature. It is two areas on here. You can either do low or high. There's no numbers. So if there's a method to that, guys, I don't know anything about it. My string came out. I don't know anything about it, guys, as far as how long to let the heat gun go for it to be a certain temperature. That's not my area of expertise. And as you're putting this shrink wrap on, guys, if you're using your heat gun, you don't want to get so close that you burn the shrink wrap, because that defeats the purpose of the shrink wrap if you burn it, because then it'll have a hole in it and it's not going to give you that pressure that you're going to need to keep air from getting in. So you don't want to get too close with the heat gun that you burn a hole in your shrink wrap. So that's why I'm kind of trying to be mindful that you guys can see, but I'm also not trying to get super close. So let's go here. All right, so that is tumbler number 2, and we have our string hanging out. So we're gonna hope for the best here, guys. Now this time I'm going to be using my tray. I'm going to be using my tray, and I'm going to place these down inside of my convection oven on my tray like this, so that, oh God, I did pop a little hole in that one. Right there, guys. You guys can see that? I popped a little hole in there. So I'm gonna reseal this one because I don't want to chance it. All right, so give me a moment. I'm gonna reseal this one and then I'm gonna come back. Give me one moment. All right, guys, I was gonna use my little tray, but it was a little bit too close to the top. So I'm just gonna put them both in just like this, okay? So you wanna make sure I have my convection oven at 350. You wanna make sure that it's also on convection, guys. Convection, convection, convection. I can't stress that enough. So we have our tape, shrink wrap on, and we have our string. I keep calling this tape. We have our string coming out of both ends. So we are good to go. We're gonna go ahead and pop this baby in. And we're gonna let it go for 3 minutes. And after 3 minutes, we're gonna rotate them, all right? So I will come back when 3 minutes are up. All right, guys, it's been 3 minutes. I am going to rotate my tumblers. And we're going to go for another 3 minutes. And then I'll come back and we'll do the reveal together. All right, guys, our 6 minutes are up. I'm going to go ahead and take our tumblers out. I'm going to use that tray to put them on when I take them out. So give me 1 second to get that tray. And you should know that you have a good sublimation, guys, when you can start, just like with t-shirts, when you can start to see the ink bleed through, then you know you have a good sublimation. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take these out. Want to make sure you're using some heat gloves, guys, so you guys can see that ink is bleeding through. Alright, and we're going to make sure we cut that convection oven off. Alright, so we have both of our tumblers here, and we're going to let them cool down, and then we're going to see if this tape, not tape, I keep calling it tape, if this string worked for us. Okay, so give it about 5 minutes and then we'll come back. All right, guys, so I have both tumblers here cooling down, and I said I would show you what ghosting looked like for those of you that have never seen ghosting before. So this is a tumbler that I did back in the day, and it got a lot of ghosting on it. So you can see there's ghosting on her hair to where the words are not coming through as they should. So that's where air seeps in. Sometimes you'll see it at the bottom, but it got it more so along the top area here. So you can't really see, you know, the words, and the hair is supposed to be black. So that's where the air got in at, and you can't recover from it. So once ghosting is on there, it's a wrap. Okay, so the hair should be black like that with the, you know, with the words coming through. Okay, but ghosting happened. Okay, so if a situation like this happens, guys, then you basically have to keep this. I wouldn't give this to someone. I wouldn't sell it to someone. Just use it as a learning experience. Okay, so this was in my earlier days when I first got ready to start doing sublimation. You guys can see that's how it's supposed to look. Maybe I had it on the wrong side. It's supposed to look like that. It's supposed to look like that. Okay, but it ended up looking like that. All right, now you may be able to fool some people and say, oh girl, the image is supposed to be like that, if they don't know. Or you could, if you do pop-up shops, take it to a pop-up shop, sell it for less than what you would normally sell your tumblers for, just to get rid of it. But let the person know that it has that ghosting. It may not mean anything to them by having that ghosting. Okay, but I just keep this one as a reminder. As a reminder, guys. All right, so I think my tumblers have cooled down enough to where I can touch them now. So we're gonna see if I can see that the shrink wrap started to melt here. So it'll be interesting to see if I'm gonna end up with some ghosting on here due to this tape here, because it actually just started to pull away from the tape that was there. I believe that tape, that string, I keep saying calling it string tape. I believe that string is going to leave a mark on my tumbler. I really do. I'll be shocked if it doesn't. But we're about to find out. All right, maybe not, maybe not. Maybe we're safe. Maybe we're tumbler safe, but it did burn through to where that string was. So we'll see what happens with the second one. All right, so all well that ends well. That string on this one didn't work like I had anticipated, but here is our tumbler with no ghosting. So we'll start it out right here where it says love the 90s. Okay, and I'll turn it that way so you guys can see the full thing. But turned out beautiful. Turned out beautiful. There is no ghosting whatsoever. All right, that's that one. And we're gonna take a look at the this other one, and the string didn't burn through on this one, so I'm gonna see if I can pull the string, and I'll take you down with me. I'm gonna see if I can pull the string and see if it all comes off pretty easy. We'll see if this method works. Oh, perfect. A lot easier. A lot easier with that string. I just gotta perfect that method. All right, so now we get to the good stuff. And see what we got here. Oh, it turned out really good. Let me get my weeding tool to help me on the tape here. Let's see. We'll start up here at the top. Okay, then we'll come down that little seam as much as we can. Oh yeah, we are cooking with gas. That string method might be the hit, babe. So I'll just have to perfect it and get it to where I can make sure that it doesn't burn like that previous one. Maybe I had it too close because I had 2 tumblers in there at one time. Maybe I had it too close to the heat source. There we go. Perfecto. So you guys can see that. No ghosting. We don't want no ghosting. We don't want no ghosting. Turned out perfect. I gotta still clean that bottom. But that's what you want, guys, when you're doing your sublimation tumblers. Again, I don't recommend, just because of the packaging issue with the Michaels tumblers, I don't recommend purchasing from Michaels unless you're in a pinch and you have a client that you need to get a tumbler, you know, out for, and everything is closed. You don't have any on hand. Then that is the only way that I would recommend going to Michaels. Let me get the little lids here and get all of this tape out of the way. All right, so guys, don't forget to give, if you're selling these, don't forget to give your clients washing instructions, because you still are not supposed to, it's still not recommended that you put these in the dishwasher, okay? It is not recommended to put them in your dishwasher, okay? So here we have now our little lids and little straws, comes with the metal straws, but that is the Love the 90s, the cartoons from back in the 90s. And then you have Love the 90s with all the different TV shows and movies and things like that on there. Okay, so at the end of this video, I'll have the thing going around to show you the entire tumbler. Since I'm limited here, but now we have 2 tumblers with Love the 90s. I will link the supplier of both of these designs from Etsy. I'll link them in the description of this video tutorial. And just to make sure, guys, of the supplies that you're going to need, I do highly recommend that you get some heat gloves, guys. Don't handle these things with just your hands when you're putting them in and out of the convection oven, just because you can burn yourself really, really bad. So get you some heat gloves. These are linked in the description of my video tutorials, all of them under my Amazon listing, so you can see exactly which ones I got on Amazon. I'm using the A-Sub ink and paper. It also comes in a bundle. This is also linked in the description of my video tutorial. So anytime you see me using something, guys, and I say I got it from Amazon, it's going to be linked in that video tutorial in the description, okay, so that you can get to it really easy. And you guys have seen me talk about this bundle before, but this A-Sub bundle, the really good thing about it is that it's going to come with your ink and also your paper, okay, so your ink, your paper, and then I think it had the needles, but it doesn't come with the syringes, okay. So you guys can see that I'm almost out of this one, but this stuff lasts a long time. It's a lot in that red and it's a lot in the blue, and that way you can see how much I have left. And I've had this stuff for over a year now. The black, not so much. The black goes fast. The black goes fast. But this bundle kit is, like I said, linked in the video description of my tutorials. So this is the A-Sub bundle. It has the ink and the paper. It's the 8.5 by 11 size paper. My heat gun, guys, this is Wagner. It only has a high and a low setting, guys, or excuse me, 1 or 2. It has a 1 or 2, so I'm assuming 1 is low and 2 is high. But as far as what that temperature is, I have no way to know. I have no way to know, and it may have been in the packaging to tell you, but I don't know. So, but that's this heat gun I also have linked in my video tutorials as well. You want to make sure you have some heat tape for this project. I know I got this thread here at Michael's, because that was my favorite shopping place. Not Michael's, Hobby Lobby. That was my favorite shopping place back in the day when I first started back to crocheting and stuff like that. So I know I got this roll from there. And then you always want to take some alcohol and wipe down your tumblers before you do your sublimation to get off any, you know, fingerprints or anything like that. And then my design was 8x3 by 9.6, and I printed it off in Microsoft PowerPoint, okay? But now you can print it off in, you know, other sources like Cricut Design Space. You can print from, you know, starting Cricut Design Space. And I like the fact, guys, that you can barely tell where my seams are. You can barely tell where my seams are. So I always, when I cut, I always cut where you can't see any white. I don't want a white line going down. Let me see where the seam is. It's hard for me to tell. So this one really blends in only because it has the little squares, but I don't like white going down the middle of my tumblers, okay? So that's why I do it 8x3 by 9.6, because that little overlap helps to cover up that seam for you, okay? So there you have it, guys. I think I covered everything that I used in here for these sublimation tumblers. Convection oven, of course. I got my convection oven, guys, from Walmart years ago. It has been discontinued, this model. That's one thing. When you find something really nice at Walmart and then you try to go back, months or sometimes weeks later, it's no longer, you can't get it any longer. But I've searched it online and I haven't been able to find it. So I think in my video descriptions I have a model that's close to it, but you saw I could put 2 in there at one time. I possibly could have gotten 3. I've never tried it, okay? And you saw they were standing completely up. So you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone in that convection oven. And then I use the Epson Workforce 7720. Again, this printer has been discontinued. I changed it over from inkjet to sublimation, and yeah, that's it. Okay, and then we did 350 for 6 minutes. At the 3-minute mark, you're going to rotate it so that it can get even heating. Okay, and yeah, if you get a blooper like I did, guys, and you get a hole, don't chance it. If you get a hole in that shrink wrap, don't chance it. Just rip it off. I just ripped it off and put another sheet on, another shrink wrap on it, okay? Because you don't want to end up with ghosting or a tumbler that you basically just wasted your money on. So there we go, guys. Love the 90s. Love the 90s. All right. I gotta find one that says love the, I think I did find one that says love the 80s, but they turned out beautiful, beautiful, both of them, okay? All right, guys, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. If you're currently in my Facebook group, I want to thank you guys so much for following me via Facebook. My Facebook group name is Ken Doris's Cricut and Creative Crafters. It will be linked in this video description. All you have to do is click on the link, agree to the Facebook group rules, and you're in, okay? I will tell you guys, my group is more so about learning, okay? So anything that I normally post, I'm gonna tell you how to make it, okay? So I'm not just posting stuff just to post it, just so I can get likes and things like that. I really do want to help you on your crafting journey and make sure that you do have at least one single source that you can come to when you want to learn how to do something. To try to stay consistent, because it's hard when you're learning from multiple sources, because there's multiple ways to do things, and one person may tell you to do it this way and another crafter may tell you to do it that way, and that's fine as long as the end result is the same, okay? And then if you are currently subscribed to my YouTube channel, I want to thank you guys so much for the love and support that you show via YouTube. If you are not a subscriber on my YouTube, why not, guys? Come on. Come on over to the Ken Doris's side. And guys, there is a video tutorial that I have on my channel. I'm not going to tell you which one, but it was posted within the last 4 weeks. Uploaded within the last 4 weeks, and there is a possibility that you could be entered into a drawing for your very own inkjet sublimation vinyl, where you can use it for dark or light colors. So I'm going to be doing a drawing based on that video tutorial. I'm going to be doing a drawing for inkjet sublimation vinyl. Guys, this is vinyl that you can put in your inkjet printers, and you can print out on dark or light colors as you see here. So you don't have to worry about, I can't find this anywhere, it's not on Amazon, shipping costs too much from a Viva warehouse, which is where I purchased it here in Dallas, Texas. I will be sending this to one of my lucky subscribers. You must be a subscriber. And yeah, so find that video, guys, find that video, and you can have your very own inkjet sublimation paper, because there is a drawing that's going to be held at the end of this month for your very own, and it comes with 20 sheets, and it's A4 in size, which is 8.27 by 11.69, okay? And who knows, I might even do the larger size, okay? But you're for sure going to receive this for the lucky person, okay? So find that video. I'm not going to tell you which one it is. Find that video and get yourself entered for the drawing that's going to be held at the end of June. All right, guys, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. You know, my motto is each one reach one, so that each one can teach one. And hey, if I didn't say it, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I know I said why not, but I don't know if I finished. Probably got lost in thought. You know how it is. I'm 58. Have a good day, guys. Bye.